Hello, today is a very special day. I am here with my friend Joel from Co-Voice. He's a great guy. He produces amazing content on social media, and I'm going to let him introduce himself to you. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing well, Rod. Thank you for being so kind to invite me
Uh,
to your channel, to your show. Um, to speak a little bit more about myself, like
Mhm.
Rod said, I'm Joel. I'm your everyday teacher on for Co-Voice. I have a TikTok channel where I teach everyday people who want to learn how to speak English, but
Mhm.
mostly from a Spanish speaking background.
Mhm.
And the reason, if you want to know why I built the channel, is
Mhm.
because of my background. I'm a first generation American, and growing up, I had to teach or I had to translate or interpret for my only Spanish speaking mother and father, my parents. So if you want to imagine a 7, 8 year old Joel, little me, having to help my parents out, in the supermarket or in the bank or wherever, so they're able to communicate and be understood by only English speaking people. So that's the reason for the channel, right? To help other people like
Mhm.
my parents. And that being said, I am working with my brother on
Mhm.
an app that connects people. So there's multiples of myself out there who can just help other people the same way. And that's the idea. The bigger
Mhm.
picture is to
Mhm.
create a co-voice app that connects people who
Mhm.
cannot communicate because of a language barrier with
Mhm.
someone who can help translate or
Mhm.
interpret live. But for now, we just have that quick TikTok. TikTok is so quick, 15, 20 seconds. And I want to be able to give someone the opportunity to just take it in slowly,
Mhm.
the learning process.
Yes, the work you do on TikTok is flawless. When you said that you had to help your parents with the language at 7 or 8 years old,
Yeah.
I can ask you, what do you think about non-native English teachers?
My opinion is that it honestly makes me feel like
Mhm.
there's more of a connection between humanity in general, right? Because
Mhm.
the fact that honestly for me it doesn't matter
Mhm.
where you are in the planet,
Mhm.
and your cultural background.
Mhm.
The importance is having the love and the passion to want to teach,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Every individual has a skill set, and the skill set can be one. You don't need to be a native speaker of the language. Just be able to help someone
Mhm.
learn enough so they can also have the tools to teach, right? So you have the tools to not only did you teach yourself, but now you can also use
Mhm.
your skill set of being a teacher yourself. That's why I
Mhm.
always respect and
Yes.
support every teacher that
Mhm.
exists. So
Mhm.
hopefully that answered your question. People like yourself inspire.
It does. What is a memorable story that you have as a teacher that you could share with us?
Well, I would say that they come in pieces early
Mhm.
on when I first started my channel as a
Mhm.
teacher on TikTok.
Mhm.
But I did not think it would grow so quickly,
Mhm.
as far as the
Yeah.
followers.
Yeah.
So when I started, it was just to serve humanity,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
It's to educate, help
Mhm.
people,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
And when I started receiving comments, messages from people, thank you, this is helpful. Thank you, this is amazing. It becomes very encouraging. I'm sure for
Mhm.
yourself when you receive comments as well, the
I'm
inspiring
sure too.
comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, it lifts you up. It actually helps you. It pushes you when you feel like, oh, because it's not it's not quick, right? I'm sure you know, to produce and to
Yeah.
upload content. It's work, right?
Yeah.
And it's not work that people see,
Yeah.
right? It's just quick.
Mhm.
Especially on TikTok, there's
Mhm.
15 seconds
Mhm.
or less.
Mhm.
So the comments are in a sense, I would argue that that's my memorable story. It's just when I find that, all right, here we go. I got to upload more, but I'm doing it not only for myself, so it helps, but it's not for yourself only. It's for other people, and for that validation, when you receive the comments, especially the first earlier ones, because they should surprise me. I never expected people to comment. And they say, thank you so much. This was perfect. This was what I was looking for. You're easy to understand, etc. However way, it helps me and uplifts me. So that's what I love to see. Speaking about humanity, I love to see just the positivity and that energy reciprocated. And not that I was looking for it, but I just love that it exists, the positivity out there, because I know I'm also putting myself out for potential negativity, because there's also people who just like to bring people down. But that's another story.
I totally agree with you. How can you connect being an American and speaking Spanish at the same time? Because that's the same thing that happens to me. How does it feel for you to get out of your comfort zone and teach English and Spanish?
It's for me, it definitely helps me become a better person.
Yes.
Because not only am I being a leader each time, right? Each time, and you can always improve. I'm speaking for myself. You can always improve, right? And I think anyone can always improve. So I like to keep that in mind with every opportunity whenever I prepare for my videos. So not only does it make me a better leader, but it also helps me improve in Spanish, right? Because really, I'm a native American, and Spanish, even though my parents, both their native language is Spanish, I've been Americanized. So when I was younger, so I talk about being 7 and 8 and having to help, but then became a teenager and I lost the Spanish speaking. It became very rough, right?
Yes.
And then I had to relearn it. So that was even a process for myself. I don't feel like it's at 100% like my mother and father speaks, but each time I teach, I feel like I'm also teaching myself how to become a better communicator. So hopefully that helps you hopefully I answer your question.
You did. What is the advice you give to study English?
I would say, I think you actually hit it on the head in transitioning to this, is that we need to first have grit, right? Understand that the best things always take time, right? So always taking steps, even if they're baby steps, right? Having, visualizing, I would say, I'm trying to break it down in a couple of parts. I would first visualize yourself, if it is the goal to learn to speak English, visualize yourself speaking English, and then now make a plan and work your way backwards, right? So it can be something as simple as 10 minutes a day. I'm going to see, Raj's channel. I'm going to see Joel's channel on Code Voice, or there's so many different opportunities. Now the thing is to really have that plan, because it can be overwhelming. So the simple advice, I'm just going to simplify it in one sentence, is have a plan for improving.
I agree with you, because when they hit the intermediate plateau, maybe most of the time they give up, because they think they're not evolving. I tell them, find something you're passionate about to learn English. If you like cooking, read about cooking in English.
That's great.
If you like Madonna, learn everything you can about Madonna in English. Don't read it in Portuguese. English is practice. English is consistency. You don't learn it overnight. That's what I try to tell my students.
I also tell them, I think that's amazing advice. That's absolutely right. I think it's also important to immerse yourself in English, right? So Now, to your point though, it's really the passion in what specifically you immerse yourself in that would push you through and always get you to the goal, right? If it is, to your point, Madonna, or it's a certain, like, I want to be able to, maybe it's an English speaking woman that eventually you want to find and marry in your visualization. Then that's your drive, right? So you're always going to remember in the hard parts, oh man, but this is my goal. That actually is my story. Remember when I lost speaking English, Spanish for a little bit, as a teenager. I became older, and in my early 20s, I actually went to Honduras, and I met my now ex-wife, but I met her and she spoke zero English. So forcefully, my Spanish had to improve again. And so I started to watch telenovela, soap operas to better my Spanish. Everything, I immersed myself. Everything was Spanish because I said, I want to be able to talk to her, and her to be able to understand me. So that's when it improved dramatically for me. But to what you're saying, basically, find your passion.
I always relate learning English or any other language like going to the gym. If you stop, you lose all the struggle that you had by getting up in the morning and going to the gym and exercising. And learning a language is the same thing. If you stop, you're gonna have to start it over. And that's what I tell my students. One last question before we go to the rapid round game that everybody loves. If you had the chance to meet with yourself at 7 years old again, what would you tell yourself?
I would tell myself to never stop. Never stop learning. That would be one. But also, this is exposing myself a little bit, but I think it's important to be transparent, be honest, so when the reason why besides the part where I told you in my teenage years, I lost my Spanish speaking because not only was it Americanized, but also my mother, she was very like a tough love person, right? And I remember as my Spanish got worse growing up, I still tried to communicate with her in Spanish, but she would make fun of me if I said words wrong. So that was discouraging for me. And I knew she understood English, so I stopped speaking Spanish and only communicated in English to her. So that affected me dramatically because that's why I lost my, basically the cultural language, of my family, because, she wasn't a support, if you will, right? It was more, that was her way, she has her own way of showing love, and it's tough love. So I would tell, now going back to your question, what would I tell a younger self? I would tell Joao, hey, don't get discouraged. Continue speaking Spanish. You want to be able to have that, all throughout your years, because English, I was always going to learn it. I'm here and I'm speaking about immersing yourself. If it's around you, you're going to forcefully learn the language. If you pluck me and put me, in Brazil, where no one speaks English or Spanish, I'm going to learn Portuguese in a year, forcefully, right? So I wasn't concerned about, the older Joel would go to young Joel and say, don't worry about English, you are going to learn it. Consistently speak Spanish, do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. That's what I'll tell myself.
Just to finish now, we're going to go to the rapid round game. We're going to play a little bit. I'm going to start, and then I go on the hot seat and you ask me your questions. So the first one is, my family is?
My family is my brother.
Okay.
I'm the oldest of 5. The second oldest is my brother and best friend, and we actually are working on the Co-Voice app together. And he knows the good, the bad, and the ugly of me, and that's why he is my family.
Friends are?
Friends are needed. I think that it's important to find your tribe, right? Sometimes we can say that we don't need any. I've been in a phase of my life of, I don't need to connect. I can do everything on my own. I've been disappointed by X person or Y person. But in the end, it's I think important to find your tribe. The best way to find your tribe is to be true to who you are. Don't be who you think other people want you to be. Because when you yourself, that's going to attract your true friends.
Yeah. The most beautiful word in English for me is
peace.
I say the same thing. The most beautiful word in Spanish for me is
amor, love.
yes, the same in Portuguese. My next station will be
station. For some reason, my mind took it to travel, took it to train. And then I imagine a flying train landing in Brazil. I remember the last time I was in Brazil.
You can come visit. You can come down, visit me, and we can have a Brazilian barbecue, and you'll never go away again.
I love it.
How do you describe yourself in one word?
Determined. I'm determined to inspire others.
Yeah. Life is
full of opportunity.
Now, I am on the hot seat, and it's your turn.
All right. The most important thing in life is
being true to yourself.
One thing I can never forget is
when my 2 children were born.
That's beautiful. If I can talk to a younger version of myself, I will tell him,
get up, hold your head up high, shake it off, and keep going.
I love it. The future will be.
The future will be, I hope, happy, because for me, the most important thing is to see my family happy, to see my wife, my children happy. I think happiness and peace are the key words for this.
Mm-hmm. I think we can then. I can think we can end it with that, right?
Yeah. So for every guest, I have a sentence, a quote to take away, and for you is give peace a chance. And I'm gonna go with an African sentence. I am because we are Ubuntu. So because nobody does anything alone. We need other people. We need to spread peace to the world. And by talking to you and telling your story today and listening to your story, it was amazing because life is not easy. With every guest, I learn a new thing. And with every interview, I make a new friend. And surely I made a new friend today. And you can come to Brazil whenever you want. And you can reach out to me. It was a real pleasure to have you for this interview. Thank you for your time. And I hope you liked it as much as I did.
Thank you, Rod. And yes, absolutely. It was a joy getting to talk to you, getting to connect and learn about you as well. And I appreciate you giving me this platform to tell my story as well.
No problem at all. This was my friend Joel. All his social media will be in the description box below. The guy is awesome. Thank you. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Hello, it's Rod's friend here, Gino from Real Everyday English. Sorry for interrupting your video. I just want to make a quick recommendation that you subscribe to Rodrigo's channel. He's an amazing guy. He's so humble. He's so dedicated, and he creates absolutely fantastic content. See you people soon. Bye-bye. God bless.